So the Warriors are on the offensive. I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't have any sort of reaction to this as if, oh, they shouldn't have done this, or this is really great that they did do this. I just found it kind of predictable and amusing, which is to say the Warriors know that all of you don't like Chris Paul. They know. They're not going to tell you that, but they know.
You think Chris Paul knows?
They're aware. And now they have decided, well, we are going to go to social media and put out a video of Chris Paul saying wonderful things about the Warriors so we can start the process of getting the fans to soften a little bit on Chris Paul. This is what he'd like to say about playing in front of you, Warrior fan.
I've been blessed and fortunate to play for a long time, so I've played in Oracle over in Oakland, so I knew what that fan base was like, and it was unbelievable. I played against the Monte Ellises and Beardrins, I could name off a lot of people that I played against over the years, and to see the team now in the Chase Center, it's always a lot of energy. It's going to be crazy now to be on the other side of some of those runs of Steph and Clay hitting them threes and stuff, man.
You know what we ought to do, other than acknowledge the unbelievable background music that's underneath these comments. But after playing these, we can jump in with the message that they're trying to send to the Warrior fan base with each one of these.
Okay.
So here, take a listen again. This is Chris Paul to you, the fans.
I've been blessed and fortunate to play for a long time, so I've played in Oracle over in Oakland, so I knew what that fan base was like, and it was unbelievable. I played against the Monte Ellises and Beardrins, I could name off a lot of people that I played against over the years, and to see the team now in the Chase Center, it's always a lot of energy. It's going to be crazy now to be on the other side of some of those runs of Steph and Clay hitting them threes and stuff, man.
Warrior fans, I know how amazing you are. You're not brand new to the party. You're not Johnny-come-latelys. I remember playing way back before the Big Three was even a thing.
Exactly.
I'm going to name Monte Ellis and Andris Biedrich so that you can know that I've been knowing you and seeing you for a long time.
Yeah. Basically what he's saying is I've been around longer than Steph, Clay, and Dre. And I've been playing at Oracle since before any of those guys ever even thought about Oracle. And I love this crowd. I've been respecting and knowing this crowd for a lot longer than virtually anybody, and I'm looking forward to you bringing me what you brought to them all those years, because now I'm a Warriors, and I'm always going to be a Warriors, which was the famous Monte Ellis quote before he got traded.
And the next comment, which will name Steph Curry and the beauty of the Warrior way.
I think the thing I'm most excited about is the fluidness that the team plays with. I think when you compete against a team for so long and so hard that you have to have some type of appreciation for them and the way that they play and the way that they share the ball and the selflessness of all the different guys on the team. I'm excited to team up with Steph. We got all this stuff that's connected to each other, and I think through sports sometimes you just compete so crazy, so I'm excited about playing alongside of them.
Okay, so fans, I know you're amazing, but secondarily, I know that I play basketball historically a different way, but I love your way.
Yeah.
I love the way the Warriors play.
Connectedness.
It's connected. It's connectivity. It's fluid. And then there's that guy, Steph, who we all know is the greatest thing that has ever happened to the sport that I play.
Basically what Chris Paul is saying that I hear is, I look forward to not having to do so damn much to get a basket on the offensive end. I look forward to a little dribble, get a screen. Where's Steph? Where's Clay? Let me get rid of this ball. And when it's time for me to score, I can do that. I'm CP3. But I look forward to, in the twilight of my career, to not have to work so damn hard on offense.
And then there's this, and this is where we have to touch on the other two members of the Big Three.
Yeah, Draymond is, I feel sorry for the other teams that's got to play against both of us, because he's always been very vocal, as I am, and I've always thrived with guys like that. Clay just always been Clay. Here and there, we would compete against each other over time, and, a lot of times the fans see the pushing, the fighting and all that, but when somebody works that hard, then there's always a lot of respect there too.
I appreciate the journey that Clay has been through, and clearly that makes him the ultimate professional. and the ultimate worker. And so I look forward to that. And then as far as Draymond Green and all the controversy between me and him through the years, well, the two of us are vocal leaders, and pairing us together will not be oil and water. It's just going to be twice as much water. Watch how we drown the other team in our words. We can figure it out together.
And dear officials, sorry in advance because we're coming for you. And last year, Draymond Green led the NBA in technicals with 21. Chris Paul had a pretty quiet year. He only had 6. But I looked at the previous year. Draymond was second with 18. Chris Paul was tied for 10th with 14. Basically, Draymond's a talker and he's a barker. I'm a talker and I'm a barker. So opposing teams, trash talk will be up. Technical fouls will be up. Temper tantrums will be up. Sorry in advance to everybody who doesn't like that brand of basketball.
I wonder where everyone's at this because, I think the Warriors are very smart to do this. They're very smart to try to soften Chris Paul. Look, they're very aware. The Warriors, of all the teams I've ever been around, ever covered, I think that they are, in my opinion, they're the 1 seed in terms of how to sort of speak to their fans, how to handle their fans, how to make good decisions, how to put out the right things publicly. This version of Warrior basketball has been amazing through the years. So I think they just get it. They understand how to do it. So I get why they're doing this. They're right for doing this. But it also then begs the question, which is its effectiveness. You know, where are you, Warrior fan? And Dibs, you may not be the perfect person to ask simply because you were open to this from the jump.
Yeah.
But I think that now we are, however many weeks, it feels like it's been about 5. When was the draft?
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
About 5 weeks since Chris Paul became a Warrior. And I wonder if fans are feeling some softer or just a better entry point to the relationship, more open to it than you were in the past because, you know, the Warriors got this guy and then there was the initial reaction and then you wait and you let that calm down and then you show up in Vegas and let him talk to the media. And within 1 word, he's already like, you coaching? And we've got a quote and reaction and commentary and people are going, oh gosh, here we go with Chris Paul. I believe this to be a reaction to that. I think that the Warriors aren't worried about whether Chris wants to start or sit. I think the Warriors are like, Chris, we're going to need a little bit of a different way for you to introduce yourself to the Warrior fans because some of them are a little bit hesitant. And this is that.
I think this was coming regardless, whether or not he said to Kendra Andrews, you coaching? And whatever was going to happen, this always was going to come out. And I was predicting it as much when I thought they were going to sign him as a vet min guy when they trade for him. And Chris Paul is going to be a Warrior. And you realize he's going to not only be a Warrior, but he's going to wear Jordan Poole's number because that's Chris Paul's number. He goes by CP3 because he wears number 3. Jordan Poole wore 3. So not only does Paul replace Poole, Paul takes his jersey. He takes his number. So it becomes even more of a visceral reaction among fans. So Chris Paul goes from eternal villain, and you yourself have said all along, I can't stomach the idea of Chris Paul on my team. And now you're confronted by the reality that you have to stomach Chris Paul being on your team. And so as we've gone through the 5 weeks that he's been on the Golden State Warriors, there's this, and there's going to be more incremental steps toward guys, Warriors fans, gals, everybody. Chris Paul is here. We made this decision. And if you ride with us, you ride with him. And you're going to see more from Draymond, Steph, and Clay at some point. Maybe the 4 of them will go to a Giants game in September and, be sitting all together next to Larry Bear. Or there's going to be more of this sort of PR softening of the reality, which is there are more fans in your place of like, oh, God, than there are in my place of, come on in.
Well, of course, like anything else, it's going to come down to whether or not it works.
Right, but between now and when we actually see if it works or not, I think there's going to be more of this.
I mean, on opening night, when he's introduced, how does it sound? What's the sound? I'm not saying he's going to be booed. He's not going to be booed. Is it hesitant? Right? A little quieter, right? Or does he even get introduced? I mean, he's not going to be in the starting lineup or anything like that. But
Well, for the first time at
Opening
the
night.
6-minute mark, checking in from Wake Forest in his 18th year.
I bet it'll actually be positive and loud because there's name value there, and people
Yes.
will be like, okay, let's see what this. There'll be an anticipation, is what I'm saying. Yes, it's an anticipation sensation.
Don't blame
I
me
know,
for that.
I know. They could also get playful. Like, these things are good. What Chris is saying here, they're good. The overall thing for me that I'm hearing here is Chris Paul is sending out, and so is the team. They're sending out to their fan base that Chris respects here. He respects this team. He respects the fan base. He respects these three players. He is here to play along with what has already been established as something great in this city. But I think you could also build a personality with Chris. I don't know how good he'd be at it because he is a little bit rough around the edges, but try something playful. Chris Paul could be like, you know what? I, too, was once booed at Dodger Stadium, which is true because when he showed up after signing with the Clippers, he showed up at Dodger Stadium and he got booed. And maybe that's something that this fan base will like. Oh, you got booed at Dodger Stadium? Cool. I got beer thrown at me at Dodger Stadium or whatever. Do something playful to create something that is a little bit more accessible. I would venture to say that's outside of all the flopping and the ridiculous on-court stuff that we talk about. Off the court, Chris, he could be a little bit more accessible. He could feel a little bit more accessible to the fans. I think that's something the Warriors can play with here over the next handful of months.
How about a Niner game? You get him out there at a Niner game, and I don't know if Steph would be the one. I mean, Steph can't really go anywhere and, hey, I'm in a Niner game.
Well, he's
and
also a Panther
he's a Panther fan. But the greater point of, maybe Chris Paul and Kevon and Wiggins go out to a Niner game, and they're just, hey, he's hanging out, and, he becomes accessible, and he becomes a part of a community, and Giants games are a way to go about doing it. Maybe you throw him in teal, and you bring him down to a Sharks game. Maybe he goes to the Monster Truck Show here coming up in a couple of weeks there. The Hot Wheels.
August 5th and August 6th.
Thank you, Grandy. I didn't have my copy in front of me, but
it is the Hot Wheels Monster Trucks
you.
Live Glow Party.
Yeah.
And it is going to happen in the dark. Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
But Chris Paul, the more, and eventually when he comes here, which will be September when camp gets ready to open, that's when you can make him more a part of the community. But you're right in terms of, his acceptance will go only as far as Steph Clay and Dre and Steve Kerr, essentially.
His basketball.
Right.
Look, we, when I say we, fan bases are the easiest things of all time. The best example is what the Giants fan base has been through the last 2.5 years. Any 2-week period, you look at what the Giants have just done, and if they've gone 10-4, oh my God, Farhan really knows how to play the margins. Gabe knows how to get the most out of not much, and it's pretty impressive what they're doing. You really got to support those guys. And then a 5-game losing streak happens, and it's pitchforks and tweets.
Idiots.
Cheap skate, idiot, analytic, laptop nerds. Right?
I like when you get angry.
Yeah.
They've lost 6 in a row. They look terrible right now.
They do. And if they beat the A's the next 2 nights, everyone will be like, all right. Damn it, Farhan. Let's go. Let's see if we can go win the division. Make a trade. Trade him! Right? Get 6 games this week at home. Win 4 of them. Everyone will be cool, calm, and collected.
You're so right, though, in terms of fan bases.
Go
because
win. Yeah, just win.
Go back to, Saturday, July 8th. The Giants bounce back and they win after losing to Colorado. You win 7 in a row, and we're talking World Series. And now since then, you've lost 6 in a row. And my poll up on Twitter about should they buy or should they sell, it should be a slam dunk. Yes, they'll buy, and that was before today's debacle.
Do you remember right when you were leaving for vacation, going into the All-Star break?
Yeah.
I'm like, the Giants were on a losing streak, and what did I tell you? I go, they're going to win 3 of their last 4 going into the break.
Yep.
It'll calm everyone down. They did. They won 3 out of 4 going into the break.
They beat Seattle to salvage 1 in that 3-gamer, and then they took 2 of 3
against Colorado
at home.
Right, and then they hopped out of the break and won their first 5 in a row.
Correct.
And everyone was like, jamming. Let's roll. Let's do something at the deadline. Shohei Ohtani. Let's go. We're taking down the Dodgers. Now you've lost 6 in a row, and everybody's idiots again. You just go win 4 of the next 6. Everybody will think you're awesome again. It's true with Chris Paul too. I'm not big enough to admit, I'm big enough to admit that we're all like that. We're all like that.
Absolutely. And this speaks to the Niners Brock Purdy conversation as well. And I heard Steiny and JD earlier talking about the Niners and their slow starts of late. And you go back the last 2 or 3 years, and the Niners have not been great in the first half of the year. And what do we all say? Oh, Shanahan, is the seat getting hot? And is the quarterback the right answer? And how come he can never find his quarterback? And why can't this team win the big games and all the rest of it? And last year they rattle off, I think it was 10 straight to end the regular season to wind up 13-4.
Yeah.
You go from 3-4 to 13-4, and it's, Shanahan.
My God.
You evil genius. And it's the same thing with the Giants. And to your point about Chris Paul, if they come out and they start slowly, and Chris and Draymond appear to be chirping at each other, and they're 4-7 after 11 games, we're going to feel differently.
It's going to be a problem. Yeah, no doubt about it. They never should have gotten him.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.